Cool. We can do it then.
All right, you want to fight crime? Let's get dangerous.
And we are here. And I don't know why she went off stage there for a second.
Well, Mozart wanted to get camera time. So
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, everybody, welcome to a very short episode of Comic Book Spectrum. The reason why it's going to be a short episode because of the simple fact that we are in the middle of a possible tornado watch here. There has been several sightings to both the north and south of us here, but it has not hit the actual county that we are in, that Elaine and I are in here. And also tonight is also one of the few nights that Cliff is off here. So we're here. We're going to do what we can, but I'm just waiting for the actual call for if they did see anything in our region as far as the county and everything is concerned. We will be cutting the show off right then and there because the safety is more valuable than content at this point. But nevertheless, we do have some things for you.
Courtney's at her desk and she's listening for the siren. Because if it does get close enough to us to be dangerous, over where I'm at, the sirens will go off.
Right. So, I still got channel 9 behind me on.
Okay.
I don't have it blasting, it is muted, but I am looking at the crawl and everything. So if I do disappear, I'm looking at the crawl.
Well, Leia and Beanie are here.
Yep.
So good to see y'all.
Hi. It's like hi. It's like says hi under comic box.
Well, this has been a week for me. Very much of a week. It's been an exhausting week, and Joe knows some of it, but we won't go into it because that's not what the show is for. Anyway, at
least you didn't have to deal with any down tree limbs and everything and having your block blocked off for quite some time because a tree limb hit one of your neighbor's cars, and they, instead of them chopping it up and putting it off to the side on their side alone, they're trying to be sneaking and put it here, there, and everywhere, and being all salty about their car getting hit.
We were lucky. They're still working on the lead pipe removal thingy. Mm-hmm. So they've got the east and west streets. They're now doing north and south. And so because of that, they actually we had a tree that I guess was somewhat dangerous. And so they not only, the guy who owns that lot had the limbs cut down that were most dangerous because people walk their dogs there, but he also had them pull it over to that bit of lawn that's closer to the street. Mm-hmm. So you can park your car there, but depending where you get out of your car, you might have to try to climb over some tree limbs and stuff to make it, because it's not the easiest thing to come through. But exactly. A massive one kerploded, and then superstorm, a tree was like, wow.
Yep.
That's sad.
Well, the tree that's in front of our house survived doing the Michael Jackson lean from Smooth Criminal.
Okay. That's good to know. You get
The
music every
one, the
once in a
one
while.
across the street from us, not so much.
Every once in a while, like you hear, woo, woo.
No, but seeing it in the middle of the story, and it was like, like, don't fall over.
Da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. You got to take a picture of that for me because I might have to use that somewhere.
If I remember to take it to do the to remove it from the cameras, I will give you that footage. But it was like the branches and everything were like, whoa.
Well, I've got some products to review for artists,
Okay.
and I hope by now most of those of you who are artists have probably heard of the Ohuhu Pupe or Pupe. I don't know how to pronounce it, but these are their color markers. I got the 60 color set. The thing about these markers is they're supposed to be paper friendly, and I'm not sure how the and basically they were made primarily so that if you know people who do those adult coloring books and whatnot, they're supposed to not rip up the pages because the watercolor markers or the acrylic markers it tends to be very thin paper, excuse me, and so the markers can mess the paper up. I will say they're not bad. I will say that these are actually really decent markers. They are not bad, but you do have to be careful about what paper you use because the thinner the paper you use, these bad boys might they might tear it up a bit. You know, I'm not going to lie and say, "Oh, these won't mess up your paper." Yeah. Anyway, they are dual tip. They have a very fine pen tip on one end, and on this end, they have a brush tip. So if you're doing very detailed work, these are really good. The colors are vibrant, though they're they're originally when I heard people talking about these and reviewing these, they were saying, "Oh, these are watercolor markers." They're not. They're the actual packaging says water-based markers. So they're not. They do have lovely pigments, and they do go on nicely, and I'll show that in a minute. But I can't guarantee these are not exact. They do have some things about them that are like watercolors, but they're not watercolor markers, but they are water based. And when you get them, there will be a thing in there that says, be careful, don't get this on your hands, or if you get it on your hands, wash your hands and whatnot. And I think that is because of whatever they're using for the pigments, and B, whatever they're using for the binder. Because remember, these are in markers. They also have, I found these and I love these. They're watercolor brush pens. And I will say, I like these. The colors are very vibrant. And these are actual brush tips. I don't know if you can see that. These are actual brush tips. They are not like the water-based markers, which have a felt tip. These have a brush tip. They don't have a double tip. They only have this one size, but they have a very fine tip. You get 2 trays of markers. This is their brush pens, not markers. This is a 50 color set, and each tray has, and I love this, it comes with 2 water brushes. And for those of us people who work plain air, or in my case, if I'm having a day where it's low energy but I still want to work, and I'm working watercolors, these are lovely. You fill these up with water, and I have a set that has different sizes to it, but I love it. These come with 2 of these. One is a medium tip, and this is an actual brush tip. It's got actual little, as you can see, it's an actual brush. So it is not, again, it's not that nylon. These are not, well, it's probably a nylon brush, but it's not that big marker type. So this has the individual bristles. And I love this because you fill this with water, you can color, and I'm going to show you in a second that these markers do well. And they have a medium water brush and a fine tip water brush, which I used both of. And I was very hoping. I'm going to have to move this back here because I never think about where I'm doing this. But I used them both. And I was actually pretty happy. I haven't had a chance to paint with them yet. It's been a crazy week, but I am learning to work as a professional artist, which means learning to swatch your stuff. And these are the paper safe water-based pen markers here. Sorry, markers. And what I love about these is, as you can see, the colors are very vibrant. You've got lovely, vibrant colors. They even, I used at the time because I didn't have, they don't come with a water brush, but they do come with a colorless blender. And so using the colorless blender, I wanted to see if I could blend the colors out, because sometimes you'll get markers and you can't blend the colors right, or you want it strong in one area, you want to blend it out in another, and it doesn't always work. But this works with that. I realized, and it didn't wreck the paper. And this paper is new. This is Ohuhu's Wailua, and this paper is made so that it is cotton on one side. It has a cotton top. It's called a cotton top paper. It's cotton on one side and it's wood pulp on the other. And it's one sheet. I don't know how they did it. They just got the patent for it, but I do like it. And they make this in both a cold and a hot press. This is the hot press. As you can see, the colors love this paper. They blend well. This is the water-based markers, and this is the watercolor brush pens. And I found they were also very vibrant on this paper. This is not a bright white paper, which for me is fine. I don't actually like to use a lot of bright white paper. So something that's just a little off white is fine with me. But these colors, they are very vibrant. They come in 2 trays. And as you can see, I started where they're very deep. The colors are very deeper here. And then using the water brushes, I then sort of started fanning them out to see how well I could go with these. And I was very happy with this one. This is the cold press, and I didn't get to do the water safe brush markers on this one because we had a lot of stuff going on. But I love the fact that these actually work on the cold press. And for those who don't know, hot and cold press watercolor paper, they're called that because a hot press is a much smoother grain. It's what you would think of when you pick up a regular piece of paper. It's very smooth. This has a little tooth. The cotton side has a little bit of tooth to it, which isn't bad because it doesn't really bother me. But the wood pulp side is very, very smooth. Now, the cold press has a lot more tooth. And so the colors are going to be just as vibrant, but they react just a little differently with the tooth and the way that the colors spread out, how easily they blend. Can you do it where it's dark on that end and then make it sort of fade out as you go along? I love this. I love the fact that I was able to get the black to see how dark I could go and then how much lighter I could go where you could still see the color. And what I like about these pens is that they have both a black, and they also have a paint. They have a black and a gray. The gray is closer to what you might think of as a gray, as a Payne's gray, but it is really good. It is really good, and they both had the test where I went from very dark to very light, and they worked really well. Now, these are not. If you have children, I would not allow little kids to have these. These are not, this is not a children's art supply. And they're not the cheapest things. Each of these is about was it the watercolor pen, the brush pens, and the markers were each around $40, within that $40 range. The paper was cheaper. I think I paid like $16, $17 a pack for these, and you get these are 9 by 12. You get 20 sheets, and which is good for watercolor paper. This is really good. And like I said, for just watching it out, I loved it. They even on the hot press, they weren't all runny. Some painters, especially watercolor painters, really love when they get their they make their paints very runny and stuff. And if that's your style, that's your style. I prefer a little more control to my work, which is why I like the brush pens and whatnot. But if you've got a middle schooler, a high schooler, and when you get the colors, there is a sheet in there that will say warning, and it'll tell you, don't get this on your hands. Careful that you don't get it in your eyes or anything like that. So this is, even some watercolors, depending on the pigment, can be dangerous. And what I like about the brush pens, the markers have names for all their colors. The brush pens, it tells you they didn't name the colors, but what they did say is what traditional colors, the number of what traditional colors that marker was most compatible to. This is most like this, which I liked. Now, with the dual tip markers, they give you this, which is their little color sheet to tell you this. I will tell you, when you get these, don't worry about these, because these are not the way the colors are going to look on your paper. The paper that they put this on is much brighter white than the paper that I used. The watercolor pad, it's a much brighter white, so the colors are going to be different. Also, this is printed. This isn't where they sat down and put those in each. This is just something that somebody did on a computer and put out and printed, and it's not an exact match, which is why most artists will tell you, get your new supplies, swatch them, swatch your papers, swatch your colors. That way you know how, because not all supplies are created equal, and sometimes some watercolors are very watery. And so they will run everywhere. And if you like that kind of work, that's perfect. But if you don't, that's going to be a headache. And others, you have to really wet them to get them to move at all. So, and it just depends on, how you prefer to work. I like the markers, just because for me, they're easier to store. And I like the markers and stuff. It's easier to store. And if I'm having a long COVID day or couple of days, this makes it easier to sit in my room and work. And I don't have a lot of mess of pans of watercolor or tubes or things like that. I can work with my markers and keep things kind of regulated, so it's not this whole mess of things being spread all over the place. So for me, this works. And like I said, if I was saying the age, I would say the youngest would be like, say, 6th or 7th grade. But make sure that that the kids are really into it. This is something they really want to do. High schoolers, this would be great for. You could either, I'm going to be working to see, because the colors are vibrant. They do lay well you can play with them and whatnot. And I have my little fan going on me, and they give you still, once you put them down, they don't immediately dry, which is good because that lets you. But I did find even when they dry, the brush pens act like real watercolors. In fact, that once they dried, if I wanted to try and scrub something up, I could, just like you do with real watercolors. The markers are a little different. Once they're down, they're pretty much down. They're not coming back up. So yeah, I don't care how many boats you try to shoot into them. You're not going to resurrect them puppies. You know, and I have some projects that I'm going to be doing this summer that I'm going to be using these puppies on, which is why I got them. I got a little gift from a friend of a few bucks, and it's like, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to get, and so this is what I got. And like I said, as I get more work done, I'll be posting stuff for people to see. And if you want to come check it out, I will either put those pictures up on my YouTube channel, or I will put them on my Facebook. And if so, I will, I'll post a link or something so people can come check them out. Okay. But, so definitely, yes. At this point, I would say they're worth the money. And I will say for the two sets of paint, brush tip markers and paint pens, and this, I think I spent about 70, 80 bucks. And that includes the shipping because, Amazon. So it wasn't, for art supplies, it wasn't that bad. There were places you could go where you could get similar items and spend closest to 150. But there are also places you can go and get similar items and get very cheap. I used to love, Michael's had Artist Loft, and they still have that. That's their home brand, but they don't do the watercolor markers anymore, which is sad because they did lovely watercolor markers. And they don't. And so that's one of the reasons I got these, because my watercolor markers are beginning to run out and I needed some replacements. And I will often use those as sort of the underpainting for pieces, not necessarily as a finishing product, because they were intermediate piece, and at the time I think I got the set I have for like $5-10, which was really wonderful. I don't think you could pay that for them. I think they'd be closer to 20 or 30 now. But like I said, I like these. I will be, as I get more and more into working with this, I will post about it and say, this has lived up to my initial, or yeah, I liked these when I was swatching them, but now I'm actually working and it's crap. If that is the case, believe me, I will let you know. And if you know me on Facebook, hey, hit me up. Hey, did you use them yet? Have you made something with them? What do you think? Have you changed your mind? Have they improved in your esteem? Have they fallen? I'll tell you. I will tell you honestly. But yeah, that's Auntie Moo's product review for this week. Da-da-da. Back to you, Joe.
Well, good news and bad news is, good news is it looks like a certain thing will not truly hit us.
Yay!
We're still up under a severe weather, but they still consider us part of the bigger overall umbrella of the tornado watch.
Yeah.
But they're actually been tracking the tornadoes here, and it doesn't look like it's going to truly come into Cook County. Right now, they're tracking a cell that actually came into Indiana as of right now.
Ooh. Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, so and that's one of the reasons why I don't like how the weather service now on the web categorize things. You have to have local news, especially if your local news is really, really good. They will show you the actual paths and lines and where everybody has been reporting in.
And understand, for us, this is somewhat concerning because growing up, especially when I was a little girl, teachers would tell us, oh, there's never going to be a tornado touching down in the city of Chicago. It just ain't going to happen. Why? Because of the way the winds and stuff that we have between O'Hare, Midway, and coming off the lake. You know, they just it's just Chicago. The way wind comes through us, it's just not set for tornadoes. The wind velocity of the city itself and the tornadoes, it'll cancel itself out. They don't come here. They don't like us. They like they like the boonies. They like trailer parks and the boonies, and that's where they go. I don't know if anybody can get the fact that I've got big things of lightning happening. Right, I'm sitting next to a window and there's like lightning going off.
See, you up there like, oh no, I'm not going to get hit by a lightning bolt telling a fib. It's like, yeah, right.
But we were told as kids,
we were told that.
Yeah,
that below us, like below I-80, is really a part of that whole tornado alley system of the Midwest and the plain areas. So if you're not in like those clear farming towns that's in the middle of the state, we don't have to really worry about tornadoes like that.
It's not going to hit us.
Yes, we do, because we get severe enough weather that a funnel cloud might not touch down that often, but they do touch down.
But I have never, every once in a while, you would have windy days, especially
we definitely get wind that is equivalent to a tornado or a hurricane.
We would call them mini dusters. If you were, sometimes if the wind was just right and you were by, say, a field or a vacant lot that had a lot of dust and grass debris in it, you would sometimes see like what we would call a mini duster, which would be just like a little bitty funnel cloud that'd pop up for half a second and we shoo, shoo, shoo. And if you didn't see it happen, you might catch the image and think, oh wow, that was just blowing through. And it's like, nope, it was an actual funnel. But we never, it's like, oh well, just that's just the weirdness of being in Chicago. And you never thought of it as, oh, that's that could be something bigger. It wasn't until about a year or so when we first, was that what, year before last, Courtney, where we had to go down to the basement because we got a tornado
warning? It was less than a year ago. It hit
near O'Hare, near where my mom and sister live, and then ran up, hit Lincoln Park, and then decided it wanted to go hang out in Evanston. So it just tore this lovely swath. And that was the point at which it was like, oh, it's real. It's real. Dang.
We have had a lot of windstorms, especially during the summer, that would be almost equivalent to like hurricanes and tornadoes.
Yeah,
like even yesterday we had 80-mile-per-hour winds that was knocking over trees left and right.
And I live close. I live like I'm a 5-minute walk from the lake. And anytime you live close to the lake, even when it's very warm, unfortunately, we don't have enough east-facing windows, but it is not unheard of here to have eastward winds that even at this time of year, especially as you get older, it would be like you're walking and all of a sudden, woof, like some force just tried to shove you out the street, and downtown. You have to be careful downtown because you can be walking 1 minute, you are walking on the sidewalk, and the next minute, you're standing in the middle of Madison, and the traffic is coming, and you're like, "How did it?" It's like it felt, and the window hit you in such a way you don't necessarily feel it. You kind of afterwards, your body was like, "Oh, okay," and then your brain is like, "We're in the middle of the street. Move."
I haven't had the middle of the street while downtown, but I did get the 1-2 punch, if you know that.
I learned
in the middle of winter, got the lake,
Yep.
And you got the jet stream coming from the west. And just one moment it's like, okay, it's like, oh, okay, fine, it's cold to the west. And it's like, okay, fine, I can deal with that. Then all of a sudden it's like, pow. What's that about? What's this wind coming from this side?
You're like, okay, because it's like you're walking and the wind is coming in, that westward bound off the lake is coming in, and you're like, okay, I've adjusted my body tilt. I can make this. I'm fine. I got my bag. I'm weighted down, and then all of a sudden, and if you're just close enough to want to like the Dan Ryan or something, just make sure everybody knows your pastor's phone number. Mm-hmm. You might go, I didn't know I could fly.
It'll catch you out of nowhere because it's like, okay, fine. Here goes like then the big gust of wind in the west, and all of a sudden, pow! I was like, oh, I getting pushed back this way. The wind's coming from this way.
And other places, people would think you were crazy. Up here, it's like, yeah, child, you just got you got to adjust your stance.
It's just the late
be ready. But I learned as a high schooler not to wear skirts downtown, or if I wore skirts, they had to be pencil skirts. And I used to love like big flowy skirts because think this is the 70s. Mm-hmm. We were all into those lovely, big skirts and stuff like that.
Yeah, skirt parachute.
And there's nothing worse. Luckily, and I was luckily raised by Black women who, you got ready, walk out, you got clean underwear on. Yes, ma'am. No holes. Yes, ma'am. Because that first time you're walking down the street and you unfortunately walk over grape and the train in the subway's going by, and then the air is hitting you from above, and the next thing you know, boom. It's like, and it only takes one time. It's not like Marilyn Monroe in the 7-year itch baby. No, this is like boom. And it's like, okay. When you're pushing your skirt down and the wind,
that's assuming that it doesn't reach above your eye level.
Oh,
if you had a long skirt on, if it comes over your head, that was the end of you. Because you're like literally trying to fight to get your eyesight back before you could think about getting the rest of it down.
And people are just, because men just think it's funny, and the women are like, yeah, it's something we all go through. Because you're standing there, and if you're in a car and you're not from Chicago and you've taken a cab into the loop, and so you're not getting what the wind is, you just thinking, why is this child raising her skirt above her head and not realizing I am trying to pull it down? Because
and then realize she's standing on a grate that has wind, that has train coming up,
and and eventually your brain says move, or some nice person will go, child, move 2 feet to the left or whatever, and you shift, and it's like, poof, oh, thank you. It's like, and it's always the same thing. If it's a nice Black person, it's like, good thing you wore your clean underwear. Mama raised you right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yes, ma'am. We all have the stories, whether we tell them publicly or not. Now you know something about me, that maybe you didn't want to know.
It's not about not knowing or anything. It's just life. But I'm happy because tonight's thumbnail was more or less based upon the upcoming movie that's supposed to be releasing soon. I did not realize there's a Toy Story 5 coming out.
Yes. I think Toy Story 5 is already out. Or
it's supposed to be out Friday, if I remember correctly.
Okay, yeah, it's coming out tomorrow. It's dropping tomorrow. Yeah, this time the toys are the little sister has inherited her brother's toy collection.
No, the sister to the little girl, because what's his name? Andy gave it to the little bitty girl in 4.
Yeah.
And I remember Sporky. I remember Sporky because they were stuff there saying Sporky was not a toy. And it's like, yeah, Sporky is a toy.
I think she's now older. Mm-hmm. And Buzz and Woody are in different places. They are not together. Buzz and Woody are not with the group of toys. And she now gets what's the equivalent of what used to be called the leapfrog.
Oh yes, that's the reason why I brought it up, because I was like, wow, they have progressed to technology now that the
Yes,
leapfrog is supposed to be kind of like the villain in this one.
because it has, it has captivated her to the point where she is ignoring all the other toys that this
Well,
has become. And the other toys are that, from what I could tell by the preview that we saw when we went to see Mandalorian and Grogu. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's worth the money. It is. I know it ain't cheap out there, but go see it at the theater, please, because it's worth the money and worth the
if you're
time.
in our neck of the woods, wait until after the weather gets better.
Yes, don't go now in the middle of this. That's not good. But I believe it was the toys were beginning to feel as if they were no longer of value
Hmm.
because of this thing. And so you had the traditional toys versus, and they had it set up, is they have it set up like this is the big villain, because it's kind of like she's mine. The attitude of this thing is like she's mine now. And so and like I said, I saw a quick preview of it. John is at that stage where Toy Story, it's not as important to him. Now, what he does want to see, and what I want to see, but I ain't got the money for it, is Minions versus Monsters. Because Gru's
That's
Minions
going to
have
be fun.
become movie stars. They're making movies now, and they decide they want to make their own movie, and they want to make a monster movie, and so they raise Cthulhu. And think of Cthulhu, a minion-sized Cthulhu.
It was smaller than them in the preview. It was just
It's
so hilarious.
adorable. It's
There's like
adorable.
they made him come out all monstrous and everything. And then they zoom out where you can see the scale of him. And it's like he's smaller than a minion, but again, some of the stuff.
It's still
uh,
Cthulhu though,
mhm.
and he knows monsters. Oh my God, Eileen. I am looking for, because there have been people in my life who have called me Eileen. It's like, no, it's Elaine. Well, Eileen, it's like, okay, I'm old. I'm only going to talk to you when I absolutely need to, because I can see where your brain is and it ain't in a good place. But I'm. This is one thing when because it's a DreamWorks. It's going to make itself to Disney and
Mhm.
Hulu. So I will. It's like, okay, I won't get to see, if I don't get to see it at the theater. Fine, I will. Then we'll make a special day of it and catch it. Same thing with if he wants to see Toy Story. We'll make a special day of it. I'll do snacks and we can go sit in my room and I'll make snacks
Mhm.
for us and we'll sit and nosh snacks and watch it. Also, for you critters, episodes 3, 4, no, was 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 of season 4 of Vox Machina have dropped. They dropped yesterday. If you haven't seen them, the usual suspects of influencers are watching. I have not watched any of it yet, so I can't tell you. But I saw a movie. I was watching it with the media nights that I loved despite myself. And I have never been that big of a Ryan Gosling fan. He's just one of those actors that's like, eh, I'm not a one. I know there are women who go like, oh, Ryan Gosling. I'm like, okay. Anyway, he has a movie, Project Hail Mary. Oh, it is so much better than it should be. He is a teacher. He's a science teacher, and there is a situation that happens on Earth where the planet is in trouble, and if they can't figure out how to stop this situation, the planet will be dead. and there's a group. He's been working with these people. He figures out what the problem is. They come up with a situation. A crew has to go out in space, and as he thinks his part of this mission is done, an accident happens, and the scientist who were supposed to go do this thing, they're like in an accident, and he ends up going, and we find this out through flashbacks. The story starts, he wakes up, he's in the ship. The crew is dead. It's just him. He doesn't know how to fly the ship or any of that. And they take us through that story, his backstory. We're given it in flashbacks. And then they bring us up to date. And he finds out he's not alone. There are other creatures out there, and they're having the same trouble. And he now has to figure out, he and this creature have to figure out how to communicate. And the creature he finds is a living rock creature named Rocky. He names it Rocky. And did you ever see Galaxy Quest?
Tim Allen's Galaxy Quest. I barely remember it.
The rock creature, when they go to the place and they're that's what he finds. Except these are little bitty things that are big rock. He's just he's minion rock.
Okay. Minion size rock. Okay.
And they learn to communicate. And I don't want to give it away. The humor, it will make you laugh 1 minute. It'll make you go, damn, the next, and then it'll scare the bejesus out of you. Not because some monster is there, but because they want you to remember this is a situation in which both these individuals have lost their crew. They're the last living members, each of them, of their crew, trying to figure out how to save their peoples. And they realize they will do better working together than they will separately, but they first have to learn to communicate and understand each other. And it is just, it will break your heart, but it'll break your heart open. Is the best way to say it. It'll break your heart. There's the ending will break your heart, but it'll break it open. Because brotherhood isn't necessarily, it's not just that brotherhood, real, I see you, I see me, I see us. And it's brotherhood in the point of you see enough of yourself in this other, of what will you do to protect your friend as well as save your people. And they have hard choices to make. And like I said, the ending, it'll break your heart, but it'll break your heart open. And it's definitely worth the watch. And I think you should be able to find it on Netflix. I believe you can find it on Netflix.
I think it came over to Netflix now.
It's over on Netflix now that it's out of the theaters. It's on Netflix. You should be able to find it. Like I said, if you can't find it, come bug me. I will find it for you and tell you where. Okay.
Now, I'm just surprised that I finally got a chance to watch Creed 3. And to be quite honest, it's out of all three on that, to me, was one of the, how can I put this? The good thing about it is that it got me wanting what I originally wanted from the very beginning, which is everything is set up for a Drago movie for the son, Drago the son.
Okay.
This one, 3 kind of put it in a perspective that he's not going to carry the franchise anymore.
Jordan.
Right. He's not going to carry the franchise anymore.
I think
as Apollo's son. But the way that they got everything set up here is that Ivan Drago's son is still boxing, and
it
make
could go to
they
him.
could bring the franchise over to Drago's son and keep everything going.
I think it will depend a lot on Stallone because understand, for those who don't get it, Rocky belongs to Stallone. That is his. He built that franchise at a time.
The whole heritage line for all those characters belongs to him.
And understand, he built it at a time when the parts he was getting was a middle-aged Jack Lemmon kicking his butt in the Outer Towners. Okay,
Or Machine Gun Joe the Terrible,
getting his butt whooped by a middle-aged Jack Lemmon in Central Park in the Out of Towners. Okay,
it's still Machine Gun Joe the Terrible and getting his butt whipped by David Carradine in a motor race.
So he was getting like he was just a step above the number 3. And he realized those roles were not going to build him a career as anything more than thug number 3. He wanted to show that he could do more than that. And everybody turned him down. He had to his fight to get that film made was much like Rocky's training to be a contender.
Well,
it was very much that whole, he had to really fight for it and really show what he could do before people would get up and go, oh, really? Okay, well, maybe we'll kind of consider the possibility of taking a look at thinking about what you're doing, because that's Hollywood.
Is it fair to say that his role was almost the same as Robert Rodriguez? Because Robert Rodriguez only took, if I remember correctly, $100,000, used his own friends and family to make El Mariachi. And people think it was going to flop, but it made his career as not only a writer but as a director.
Yes, it was very much.
Stallone had the same type of deal. He took $100,000 for the overall franchise because of the simple fact that he starred in it. Because again, the studios and everything was not going to give him much of anything.
And he was lucky because he got, a lot of people. He got Burgess Meredith to play this.
Mickey to play Mickey.
And then he got Talia Shire.
Mm-hmm.
And Talia Shire is legacy. For those who don't understand what that is, Talia Shire is legacy the way that Sean Astin is legacy. Because Talia Shire's uncle is a very big name that I can't remember right
now. I'm gonna try to think. It's like who was that then? I can't think of Bert's last name. The one that played Paulie, the brother.
Yeah, but Apocalypse Now. That's the guy who did Apocalypse Now.
Oh God, I can't think of his name.
So it's not just me. She's related to him. She is part of that family. And so because when she did the movie, she didn't say her name, but she did something on PBS and she said her entire name. And it's like, yes, I'm one of them. But the fact that he had known her coming up and said, I don't have a lot of money, but I have an idea. I would really love it if you would do this. And she was trying to, because understand, she and Nick Cage are cousins. Nicolas Cage, they're all related. She and Nicolas Cage are cousins. He could have used that same last name and chose not to. And that's why Cage, he loved reading Luke Cage Power Man from Marvel, and that's where the Cage comes from.
Well, it's just funny because when I look at the character that she played, I was like, that's not the typical character that she would play. She would never play the wallflower,
But
that type of a wallflower type character. It was like out of her normal nature.
it was one of those things where they had known each other, taking various acting classes and stuff, and had gotten to know her. And it was like she was looking to build herself outside of that family, just like Nicolas Cage was.
Mhm.
And so she realized this was as much a chance for her, because it's like, if it failed, not that many people would know, and she would use her Shire name, so people
Mhm.
wouldn't immediately connect her to them. So if it failed and went nowhere, she got a few bucks, she could pay her rent for a month, eat, the world was not going to end. But if it didn't, even if it did moderately well, that would be a feather in her cap. And of course,
But
the
what
rest is
happened is
history.
it won an Oscar.
It won an Oscar.
Like,
And and that springboarded Stallone's career. Once he got that Rocky out, everybody and their mama, people who wouldn't even look at him, were suddenly calling him on the phone, going, "Hey, we got," and then he went from begging, as he put it, begging for scraps, to people just making him offers. And so, and he has always had, where Rocky is concerned, that is his legacy. No matter what else he's done, Rocky is his legacy. And he owns it.
he even states that if it wasn't for Rocky, he probably would not have been a success in Hollywood.
And he actually, early on, he would do interviews and say he was almost at the point of wanting to give up.
Mm-hmm.
Because, especially as an Italian with his accent, very Bronx Italian accent, people were telling him, "Oh, no one's going to hire you for anything serious. What, you think you can do Shakespeare? No." And he did not want to have that life of playing, thug number two in Scorsese for Scorsese,
Mm-hmm.
for Scorsese. So this was this really huge shot. And like El Mariachi, it propelled him. But
Mm-hmm.
because of that, he's always had a very distinct feeling for those movies. So imagine my surprise when he actually sat down and, I think, talked to Ryan Coogler, and they together got Michael and said, and he said, "Okay." And I think it was because he sat down and he'd had a long talk with him. And because I think it was very much like, "This is my legacy. I am handing this over to you. I'm putting this in your hands. No matter what he does behind that camera, you're what they're going to look at." And he just wanted to make sure he was putting that in the hands of somebody who wasn't going to screw pooch.
Well,
Um,
I think it
and
was deeper than that,
because
because he wasn't happy with the way the Rocky franchise ended.
it got to the point where
He wasn't satisfied with his own legacy.
Yeah, but at that same time, though, it was still his legacy, and to just hand it over to someone else, that's a big move for him. And then especially,
and he played it smart too.
He got,
He didn't rehash Rocky. He did not
no,
go backwards. He used the history and moved everything forward. And I'm glad that he stopped with Rocky Balboa as far as his own story.
Yeah, he let Rocky die in that case. Not to say he died on screen, but what I'm saying is we moved from Rocky to this new character, and
to a character that needed the help, which was Apollo's son.
Yes, and But it was like, I am handing this, and you could see it. It was like, I'm handing this over. I've seen interviews where people would say, it looked like you were saying, this is yours now. Don't mess it up.
Especially at the end of two.
Yeah.
The end of two, it was quite obvious. I'm handing you the reins at this point. And then when they said that he wasn't coming back for Rocky 3, I was like, not Rocky 3, Creed 3. I was like, wait a second. What's going to happen? And when I saw what happened in Creed 3, I was like, they still left the door open for Ivan Drago's son to take over the franchise, because for those, and this is a bit of a spoiler, in Creed 3, he retired. He retired in Creed 3.
But what I like about it,
but he didn't stay retired for long. But I believe he's going to go back into retirement though, because of his family, because of what he did in his family.
But what I like it is when they brought Michael B. Jordan in, they didn't go Rocky, blah, blah, blah. It now became Creed. It wasn't Rocky. It was from the producer, because while he was no longer in front of the camera, he was still producing those films. He's still, and that's what I'm saying. It'll be interesting to see where it goes, because Stallone is still very much the force behind that camera. He still owns that. Is his baby. He owns it, but he knows whoever's in front of that camera is what audiences, especially the next generation of audiences, they're going to think about the dude in front of the camera. So it will be interesting to see what choice Stallone makes.
And if he's out there listening to us, please let's have Ivan Drago's son has his movie. He's overdue for his own movie, because
and we're reasonable. Hire us. You need good writers. Hire us, and I can, I can throw. Hey, I will take you on, Sylvester. We'll get in the ring. Take me in the ring.
Again,
everything is baby.
The stars are lined up so perfectly, because remember, in 2, he lost to Adonis.
Yes.
Beginning of 3, Adonis retired, and he was promoting a fight between the guy that he raised up in his newly found gym to fight none other than Ivan Drago's son for the championship.
Yes.
It never happened in this movie, because they did the whole story change. So it sets it up for about time for Ivan Drago and his legacy to finally capture what eluded him many years ago, which is that world title. But he's going to win it. But his son is going to win it the right way.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. He it's like, I want that movie where you could follow where his legacy, because we follow where Rocky came from. We follow how Adonis comes from Apollo. Now we could see Ivan's son follow the tradition from his father, and how he's no longer ashamed of his father because of the disgrace of everything, and how he got over the fact that his mom left him while he was fighting in the ring, once he started losing. And up here, it's like, people don't realize that last scene in Creed 2, after Ivan threw in the towel and everything, and they went back to Soviet Union. Ivan was like, don't worry about your mom. It's you and me. It's you and me. I'm still proud of you. You did something that I couldn't do, and you did it the right way.
You did it with honor.
Unlike him, he did it for his country, and the country turned its back on him because he lost. I'm not going to put you in that same situation. You do it for you. Become a champion for you.
Like I said, it'll be interesting to see where he takes, what steps he wants to take next. and only Stallone
Hmm.
can give us that answer. I haven't heard too much, but also because Coogler was busy with Sinners as well as Michael B. Jordan. Um, so he might, and then Sinners took off. So and there are whispers that Stallone may have had a little hand in Sinners. There are some whispers because Coogler couldn't get the studios to back him for Sinners.
Well, Stallone is going to have his hands busy for something else. And for those who may not be following Stallone, and I follow him on Instagram and everything because he say a lot of great inspirational stuff in his older age here, and telling people about how Hollywood is and how grateful you should be if you ever make it into Hollywood and get anywhere. To get anywhere in Hollywood, you should be grateful. But he's about to get ready to do the same thing that he did with Rocky with another franchise.
Oh, okay. He's not bringing back Saturday Night Fever. Please tell me he's not bringing back
No,
Saturday Night. Okay.
no. The next movie that he's working on is John Rambo. He's
Wow.
not playing John, as much as he says like, yeah, we got the age defying type technology and everything. It's like, no, I will not be playing him.
Oh, dude. If you do decide to bring back Rambo, look up a couple of brothers named who go by the name Struggle Nation, because one of the things that they use in their intro is that recording of you're going, nothing is over. That's part of their intro thing is that recording of your voice, and nothing is ever over. Yeah, they got you on that, dude. So there's a lot of dudes in the Black community. Rambo is big. So
and,
I'm
and,
just
and
saying,
it's
if you decide to do it, reach out to Struggle Nation
no, he is doing it. He got greenlit for it. He got greenlit for
when you
John Rambo.
fine when you get ready to premiere there in Philadelphia, reach out to them boys, because they're good. They will, when they have feelings for something, they have feelings for something.
And
You
the
know.
and the thing that he kind of alluded to in John Rambo is that we get to see what actually happens before First Blood.
Oh, so he's gonna go back to him being a nom.
And that
Okay.
that was the cool thing. And when he actually showed, it's like he was actually showing like the thousands of pages that he handwritten, because he was talking about, you know, I'm not one of those ones for all the technology and everything. It's like I'm old school. I'm best, creative as far as writing stuff down. And he literally
Mm-hmm.
writes everything down. And it's like he actually showed this process. And then he was like, "Oh, by the way, it's been greenlit, and this is the next project that I'm working on." And he actually showed the whole John Rambo.
Hey, dude,
I'm,
you need
I'm,
a
I'm kind of looking
writer.
forward to that because I was happy when Creed came out. What?
You need a writer. Hire me, dude. I'm an ex-marine. I'm evil. I'm evil. You can hire me. I know evil. I do evil well. John Rogan. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
You need to give me a part. Let me come in there and write that puppy for you. I will. Ooh,
Well,
I'm
he,
just
he
saying.
he read a lot of stuff for John Rambo. He read a lot of stuff. So if anything,
Boy, I'm trying to
if
get
he's
a
talking
job.
about if he's talking about a lot of stuff about legacies, he only have 3 franchises that he could do legacy about. And one of those three, I don't think they're going to try to touch anytime soon, because there has been what I consider the death of the action hero. But he did what he did with Rocky. He's about to do it again with John Rambo.
Okay.
Yep,
Oh, James
2027, my
Franco is in it.
Lionsgate. Yep,
Okay.
and hopefully we're
Cool.
not going to have blue claymores anymore. You know what a blue claymore is, right?
Just
Why would
plenty
you
of
why would you use claymores that are being dumb at, that's being dumbed down for like miles gear for testing. Those things, it's like, oh, nobody's going to pay attention that this is a blue claymore, and it's like, yeah, us military people knew exactly what type of claymore that was and how harmless it was.
It's just a dummy. But anyway, yeah. So I will be looking out for this. I'm not a huge Stallone fan, but this was, that series was very intense. I knew some guys who I went in at the time when there were still guys who had served in
Mhm.
serving in the Corps. They were senior. Um, they were sergeant, staff sergeants and whatnot, officers and whatnot. But you get to talk to people and you learn stuff, and
the, the one thing
it,
that I learned talking to some of them is let them breed up. Don't ask. Don't ask.
yeah.
Let them breed up.
Don't ask, because let them get to the point where they can talk about it, because sometimes um a friend of my mom's who introduced me to poetry as a little girl, Waverly, had served in Nam, and usually he was an okay guy, but he started not coming out of his house around 4th of July, and then started not coming out of his house for a large part of the summer leading into 4th of July, because as people
The
know,
firecrackers and stuff was just snapping right back in.
he would have such issues, and if you didn't know how to deal with it, trying to talk him down could end up getting you hurt, because this man was
Either you hurt or him killed.
more you hurt, because by
No,
the
I say
time that
him.
it got
I preference him killed because nobody else will understand. Because you understood
no,
what's going on, and you might be getting hurt, but somebody outside of the both of you would come in and be like, "No."
but luckily he always had enough people around him
Mhm.
to be like, so they knew if firecrackers and stuff were going on, they would call his house. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, they wrapped the filming on John Rambo.
Oh, okay. I'll have to start looking into it. Also, before I forget, parents, because I'm always concerned about taking your kids out on stuff. The Pokemon fossil exhibit is now open at the Field Museum.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't cheap. For adults, the tickets are about $20 just for that exhibit. And you have to get a regular ticket or get one of those city passes in order to get in. The regular ticket for adults is $30. So if you're an adult going, that's $50. I have adults in my house, and we're looking at, geez, that's $200 just to go. Not to mention if people want to go and eat, go to Five Guys, and that's another 100 and something
That's what I was
for
saying. It's like,
burgers.
yeah, it's like that's $50 to go, and what the $20 for the brown bag lunch over there at Five Guys.
Yeah, by the time you're done, plus the bus to get there and then the train to get home.
You might as well
This
say, you might as
we're
well save
looking.
the money. You might as well save the money for next year and come out to C2E2 for a 3-day pass.
But just so you know, it is there until April 17th of 2027. So I would say if you can start saving up now, so that by next February, next March, you'll have money. But they tell you, even though you can get the tickets when you get there, they tell you to, when you order the tickets, it's not will come on this day. It's a specific day and time. So you're not just getting a ticket for that day, you're getting a ticket for a specific day and time slot. And they tell you to come get there a little early and be prepared to wait. because they're already saying, you got to order your tickets, and we can't guarantee that if you show up and think you're going to get your ticket on the day that you show up, that there'll be tickets available for that day. There are days that are already sold out. There are days they haven't sold yet just because. But yeah, so that's
It's one of
what's
those.
up with that.
It's one of those exhibits that they have to force people through because people will spend all day.
Yeah.
One group could literally spend all day in that, and they have to like really force them out because the exhibit is truly interactive.
Yeah.
It's really extremely interactive.
Also, if you're in the Chicago area or you want to get to Chicago area, June 19th, Juneteenth is the opening day of the Obama Center. I go by there quite often. If I'm going to Hyde Park or going downtown, the bus I take goes right by there. You can, the 61, the 28, and the 6 will drop you off right near it. It is gorgeous. It is
Right
big.
near it. 28 and 6 will put you right there in front of it.
Drop you off right in front of it. But if you go on the 61st, though, right now, the last time we were over there was Sunday, and Obama must have been there because the security, it has not officially opened, but they have been letting certain visitors in. The security, including what I hadn't seen before, they had the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm saying he must have been there, because there were a lot of black SUVs, and all sorts. They had both the University of Chicago plus Chicago PD plus specialized.
All of the press tours went through there already.
So,
the only reason I say that because I remember the interviews that I saw over the week where they was going through the building and everything, and I forgot which one actually had an interview with Barack at the center. It was press tour. They did the press tour.
Yeah, we actually saw him as we were on our way home from Hyde Park. There was a part where they were standing by the museum building, and he was standing with the group, and they were talking. It's like, there he is, and Charles looks. It's like, it's like, oh, that's the closest I've ever been to an actual president. Well, former president, but still. But one of the things I love about the center, and this is for a presidential, usually presidents, they build a library or a museum.
Well, it's a library. It is a library.
There is that, but it is more than just that. They have set up across the street. There is a children's play park that just got built. There's a new children's play park. There is something also on the grounds. They have basketball court. They have a space for community events. They also have a community garden of sorts that certain groups will be allowed. They've got vegetables and stuff, and certain groups, once those things ripen, will be allowed to come and harvest that so that it'll go to food pantries in the area. He is doing, usually when presidents do this, it's a single building, maybe there's a little landscaping and whatnot. And that's about it. He's got that, but he's also got things that allow for community involvement. So it's not like, and it's also in the city. Usually these things are set out somewhere, in some little, 100-acre wood or whatever, where you got to really travel to get there. This is actually in the city. And so that makes it very different. But I have seen it. We have gone by it because when I'm going downtown and I take the 6 or whatever, it goes right down Stony Island. And we have watched this place being built. And when certain individuals were saying, oh, it's just sitting there. It's a big old lot. It's just sitting there. No, he has built this baby. It's opening.
We haven't seen what's inside it, but I have seen.
I haven't seen it. I am going to look into, because there are, while the the security of the opening day is going to be tight because there are some serious names on that list that are coming the opening day, and some of them, like I said, security on Sunday was super tight, so I know there had to be some folks up in there.
There was another press tour Sunday, if I remember correctly, because they was talking about something unique. It was like another unique exhibit that they was putting there on opening day or something to that magnitude.
And he's arranging so that, yes, there are parts that you have to pay to get into, but there are areas that are free for the public. So well, there are the parts that you kind of have to pay because they do have to maintain this. He's built it and everything. He's had the money to build it, but this is 20 acres. This is 20 acres. This is big. So they do need to maintain it, and that's not cheap for 20 acres because this does not belong to Chicago Park District. This is him. And so, but he's also did things, and I know Michelle's had a hand in it because of one of the things that we know in his first term that was her project, something she held close to her heart, was how there are South Side neighborhoods that were food deserts. You couldn't find decent food. And so that garden that is going to provide vegetables and fruit for food pantries around in and around that area, I know that's something close to her heart because that is something. Oh shoot, hold on. Okay, tornado warning in this area until 8:45.
We're okay.
Okay.
Because again, it was like the warning is supposed to be over to not.
Stop.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
old. No, all this stuff is old because people don't understand. I have the news on in the background, and I already know what they said here.
My phone is on Do Not Disturb. It shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
emergency broadcast.
Yeah, but anyway, I am going to find out what the free areas are after the opening week. I'm going to wait until probably July before we head over there, but I'm going to find out where you can get in for free and whatnot, and then I'm going to go, and I'm planning to take the now it's Courtney's phone. At least it wasn't mine that time. Yep. But yeah, so, and once I go in, if I can, I will take pictures. I think there are certain areas where they're asking you not to take. There are places where you can take pictures and there are places where you can't. But I do know they have a thing that's called they have two buildings. One's called Home Court and the other's called the Forum. And those are going to be areas, along with the basketball, there's going to be places where different groups and organizations can meet and hold events at. So, like I said, it should be fun. And if you can get to Chicago this summer, check it out.
I just know how I feel. And I just going to wait until after a couple of years here to see the overall impact. Now, the reason I feel the way that I feel because I went to school in that area. I went to high school. I graduated.
There's a high school right across the street.
Yeah, I graduated from Hyde Park, so I know exactly what was there prior to that coming into
the field house. The field house.
I also know what was given up too.
The high school is still there. Teachers from that high school.
A lot of the park area where the football team and the baseball team and everything are now gone.
There are other parts of the park where they're shifting some of that.
Well, they're still building it, but it's like where Hyde Park used to play like their games and everything. That's gone. Where the little league, there used to be a little league over there. That's gone. The football practice field gone. But they're building this area up here. And as it was building up, I'm also looking at the flow of what is going to come about that area. That area is about to get built up, but they're
It-
also going to be a mass exodus too. And I just don't know how I'm going to
well,
feel about that.
one of the
That's the
things I've
whole.
noticed is a couple of blocks south on the west side of the street was a public housing building, and the housing authority has since given up all of its public housing. And this building was the CHA was no longer running it, someone else was running it, and they were basically slumlording it into the ground. Um,
Not just that building, it was a couple of buildings, but the
they
one that has the historic significance is
but
in question.
what they've done with that building, because I've watched that building in the almost 10 years now that I've lived here. And so I remember seeing that building when it was basically a high-rise slum. They are fixing it. The understanding is, because my first thought was, great, I know exactly what's going to happen. They're going to turn this into high-end apartments. And the understanding is, no, that's not what's supposed to happen in that building. The people who used to live there are being allowed, once that building is done, to move. They're going to have first choice of moving back and being able to live there, and they're supposed to manage the building better than what it had been. And then the next blocks that lead from it, because there's that building, but there's a whole block of little businesses there, and they're supposed to be.
Most of them are boarded up and everything too. So it's a lot more history that's there. And if you follow it, because this was before they even start putting shovels in the ground, they were trying to get these people moved out. And like you said, you called them slumlords. I called them a lot worse. Once they found out what was going on, they first tried to price these people out of living.
They tried to price them out. They were talking about, at one point, they were talking about tearing the building down altogether and building something else. And now it's like, no, they have instead renovated that building, and they're putting the finishing touches on it. They've got a few things. Like I said, I see it going back, and I've seen it go.
They're putting the finishing touches of round one.
But I have seen it look, from from the flow up to, okay, they've at least,
because now it's presentable. Now it's really presentable.
It's presentable because they know what's there. And
the
they're
building
not
next door to it, not so much.
Progress only, progress can move slow. Hey, my landlord is our new landlords have just learned that, and my understanding is Illinois is like California, which means it's supposed to be one of these states where you're not, when you buy something, you're supposed to know everything about that place. In other words, it's Illinois is what they call a full disclosure state.
Mm-hmm.
The previous landlord did not disclose everything about this building, like the fact that the pipes the city replaced the water pipe that leads into the building as part of their lead abatement. Mm-hmm. But all the pipes that are in the building are old steel pipes.
Galvanized steel.
Galvanized steel pipes.
Rust is
this building, this building's almost 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's causing problems. When the old landlord, whenever we would get leaks in our ceiling, was because the guy that he was paying, because he got the cheapest guy he could. Yeah, they don't. And we just had those guys check out our roof a few days ago, and they said, you've got little channels. We don't know what he put on this roof. I've never seen anything like that, but you've got little channels where when it rains, the water pools. And instead of running out, you have these buildings are supposed to have these little areas where the water runs out the side.
Mm-hmm.
They're all blocked because he hasn't been cleaning them out. They're supposed to be cleaned out at the end and beginning of every, the beginning before the winter sets in. And then once the winter ends, you're supposed to clean all that stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been cleaning it out. So when we've gotten leaks, all he's done is he patches this, he patches that. He's not cleaning anything. And now we have all these little channels where water runs around the roof and puddles. And then we get leaks, and we've got guys came today to work on our roofs. They spent most of the day until the rain got to where they couldn't do it anymore. They've at least got all the rubber. Do you have a puppy? Is that a dog?
Yes. Hold on.
He's got a puppy. Oh, God, he's got a puppy. I want to see this puppy, y'all.
You are being requested. Yes, you are being requested.
Don't see the puppy.
Yeah, you are being requested. See, you've been here before. You've been over here before. See? See?
Puppy. Oh, look at the puppy. Oh, he's a fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. We have to. I know where he lives. We can go to his house and get that puppy.
Don't take his dog from him.
Oh, man. Courtney says, I can't come and take your dog.
Well, it's my mother's and sister's dog. But,
I don't care.
what, you ready to go back already? You ready to go back already? Or oh no, you just want to be comfortable. Okay.
Oh, he's just making himself like, nah, I just got to get in the position that I'm in the mood for.
She just like, I gotta get my rub down. I gotta get my rub down.
You give him the scritches. Give me some scritches for me. Ooh, he got puppy. I sound crazy.
No, she's been on camera before. It's just like they
finally
I've been here.
Been down camera since I've been here. I didn't even know you had the puppy. Ooh, it's coming down heavier.
Mm-hmm. We're about to get towards the tail end of this watch. So normally by the time the tail end of the watch hits, it's normally at the.
Yeah, I heard something just got.
That was his light. Dude that's got the dog that we don't like. His back porch light. That's what that sound is going to sound. That was.
Oh, the wind just blew out this dude. Everybody hates him, and the wind just blew out his back porch light. Yeah. It just exploded like boom. It's like, take his house, dude, take his house. Don't touch us, but take his house. It looks like some sort of tropical rain out there.
Okay, he's ready to go back out. Okay, I'm not going to keep you.
Oh, he's taking the puppy away, Courtney. Make him bring the puppy back.
If she doesn't want to stay, she don't want to stay. She has a nose problem, and she's always nosy about what's else is going on. She don't like to stay in one place too long.
Oh, okay. That must get really interesting at night. Is she one of those puppies where you go to sleep, you're by yourself, and you wake up, and suddenly there's a little cold puppy nose at your feet or something?
No, at least I don't know, but I do know it's like when other people leave the house and everything, and she gets to the point where she will go and be like laying by the door waiting for them to come back.
Aw, poor baby.
But saying all that to say is like, we're almost at the tail end of.
We're coming up on 8:30 now.
Yeah, so I think we're going to be fine as far as this is concerned here.
I don't know.
Everybody followed my direction here. It's like, hey, as soon as they call it, come downstairs, and they came downstairs, so I don't have to round up people now.
Yeah, I got to wake up Charles. Is that the? Okay, hold on. What is that?
So she's saying Unky Eyeball son became a cop today, and I went on a 20-minute tirade on how he is an awful stinky. He's a person.
premises with his like, oh, that's so neat. Yeah, the tornado
That's
patrol,
hilarious. That's hilarious.
tornado patrol dudes just went up the street. They just went east on us. It took me a minute to realize what that was with all the lights and whatnot. So they just went up. They're heading towards the lake now. I have not had a chance to stop and count. Usually you count between thunder and lightning
To show how close it is, but
to show how close it is. But we're getting so many lightning clusters right now. You're not hearing any thunder, but you're getting tons of lightning clusters right above us. So, and like I said, the rain has gotten 40% heavier in the last 10 minutes. So hopefully this will be fast and it'll be gone.
well, yeah,
If my windows,
you're closer to the lake than I am, but
yeah,
you could barely hear it raining now. But the thing about it, that's where it's scary time if there is a actual tornado when it gets like this type of silent.
because you
That
can,
means that
yeah,
means it's like literally like right on top of you. But I doubt it.
that's when you're like literally in the eye of the storm, when there's that moment of when it's very, very quiet. Will you stop doing that? Okay. Thank you. Bye. Stop. It was giving me another severe.
Yep,
Was that you or me?
that was me.
Well, if you're getting it too,
Yeah,
then
I knew that we haven't gotten out the severe thunderstorm warning, but the thing about it is that all the if you check on the web, it kept saying, "No, we're in a tornado warning. We want a tornado warning. We want a tornado warning." It's like, no, our county has not gotten up under a tornado warning. We've been up under severe thunderstorm. And then when they did put us up under the tornado warning, it was far south Cook County. It
yeah,
wasn't coming nowhere close to the city here. But
okay.
now the storm and stuff is getting close enough here, but they have, at least the news here hasn't shown that there hasn't been anything that shows a circular cell that's forming. So
No,
it's
but
just a
what I
matter of
can
just waiting for
see,
it to pass over.
we're getting flooding
Mhm.
of it's getting to the point where the water on the street is getting to where the water on the street and water on the sidewalk are at the same level.
Okay.
So we're getting we are taking in a lot of weather, which we're taking in a lot of water, which means I'm going to have to go down to the basement
Yeah.
and do a check and make sure that we're not flooding down there.
Get your galoshes out.
Well, I don't have, well, yeah, I do. I have ducks. I've got those lovely, I bought a pair. I've always wanted a pair of ducks. Did I show you the picture from my window? No, I didn't see the picture from your window. Um, but I always wanted a pair of ducks, and if you get them from the catalogs that sell them, they can be up to $200. And I got a pair for like $15 from Aldi. And they're lovely and warm, and they've got that lovely they're called ducks because of the shape of the shoe is like a duck's butt. But they're the guys who fish in the Northeast, the nor'easters, they wear these shoes when they're on boats and whatnot. And I want it because they're good for ice and snow. And sure enough, I got a pair, and they're perfect when I have to go out there in the winter. Oh, is that the Brooklyn Bridge?
I don't think that's Brooklyn.
Okay. I'm not a New Yorker. I don't know. Y'all got bridges that sit across water. You have to tell me what they are. I'm an idiot when it comes to that stuff. Okay,
I
nope.
already did, and she said nope.
I don't know what bridge that is. Then I'm sorry. Brooklyn Bridge is brown. Okay, thank you, because I would have not known that. Okay.
She's like,
I
I said,
actually
"You
saw
stupid."
somebody walking out there. I'm like, unless it's a medical emergency, there is nothing that would get me out in the street right now. Zombies could be out there, and I would not be out on the street trying to deal with them zombies. Okay, just not doing it.
I went again. Why you gotta be zombies?
Except about the only thing that would try to, it's the werewolf zombie wombat vampires that would, drive me out into the street. So it's like, because they cantankerous and they's Trixians, so they know how to get in your house. But yeah,
Now this is the other thing. This is the other thing that Beanie wanted to have on the show here.
Oh, that is adorable. Mommy will never.
Why are you hiding under the blanket?
I feel embarrassed.
Why?
Because Mommy thinks I need friends. And she wants to find them herself.
Really? How?
She downloaded an app called Sniff, and now she scrolls through dogs all day. She keeps looking at other dogs and going, so cute. I'm pretty sure they are not cuter than me. Mommy always says I'm the most beautiful boy in the world. I live here now.
I love that. Except the puppy's wearing the yellow ducky I get, but he's wearing a yellow nightie.
Right.
It's adorable. Oh.
So she finally got to see the thing that she wanted played here.
That was I love that. I thought that was really adorable. Thank you for sharing that.
And then now there's another picture.
Ooh,
but I don't know.
Big.
But that where I was up here, that's funny. He's like, she's scrolling through Sniff, and she's up here talking about, oh, this was cute and that was cute. But she kept saying that I'm the cutest one out of all of them, but she doesn't treat me like that. I think that was hilarious.
Wow. 7, 8, 9.
So she's showing you Brooklyn Bridge.
I'm actually counting. For those who are like, what is wrong with this child? I'm actually counting lightning flashes.
Okay, that was thunder there, but I can't see the lightning flashes. But
I'm looking straight out the window. I counted 12 flashes of lightning in less than 4 minutes. That's a lot of lightning.
But when was the last time you heard thunder?
About what? Flash number 8.
So we're not at the center of the storm, but that tells me that it is close, but we're not like 100% like dead on.
For those of you who don't know, you see a flash of lightning, count 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000 until you hear boom. That will tell you how far, because you're going to see the lightning before you hear the thunder. The lightning is splitting the clouds, the thunder is when they slam back together. That'll tell you how far the storm is from you. If you can gauge wind, you can then know what direction this, how far and in what direction. Is it east? Yeah, we're getting thunder here.
So that's Brooklyn Bridge.
Ooh.
And that's a different bridge. That's a different bridge.
Okay. That is pretty.
Yeah. It's like where she's at, it's a bunch of islands connected together by bridges.
Chicago, we have bridges and they go up and down.
She's talking about the Chicago River bridges, but not like connecting like major counties of your city.
No, but they connect the north and south sides of, of the city, depending on where you are. And we also have bodies of water on the southwest side of the city, because that's where we used to have a lot of slaughterhouses, where the still bubbles because there's stuff down there that they used to just toss stuff in the water and it wasn't all just beef. Um, so it's if you could look up Jeffrey Bear, any of his tours of along the Chicago of the branches of the Chicago River are always interesting. You know, that they're always interesting. Oh, we have cars coming down the street now. Why there are idiots out there who are not in emergency vehicles driving cars at this time of night is beyond me.
Because again, people might still be coming home from work or trying to go to work because, again, in their minds, money is more important than life.
Whoa. Okay, we just got a major blink. Yeah, we just blinked again. We're getting blinks here. Our lights are blinking.
I had one earlier, but we haven't had any more since then.
Third. That's third.
Oh yeah, y'all about to get y'all getting hit harder than what we're getting now.
Yeah, I am going to go ahead and if it's okay.
No, we need to get no. We should end, just to be on the safe side, because again, you guys are not on in the basement, so that will be like,
no, we're on the top floor, and like I said, we're getting lightning clusters. Thank you for being.
You say hi, lady.
Yeah, I'm gonna drag Charles out of bed in the next few and start heading towards the basement. But thank you for being with us. I'm Elaine at Elaine Haygood here at YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, Elaine Haygood. You can find me on my website, Elaine Haygood. Not Elaine, lenscaponline.com. Okay, I need a nap. I need to go hide under something and take a nap. But anyway, we appreciate you being here. Who knows? This may, Chicago may get struck by lightning and we all get destroyed. We don't know. So if you're here, thank you for being here with us live. If you watch us, if there's anything left of us and you watch it on YouTube, thank you for seeing The Last of Us.
Now in the bathtub. Wow.
Well, the faucet don't work, so I guess I could. We'd be dry. Anyway, y'all take care. I'm going to batten down my hatches and see to my household. Love y'all. Check in on Facebook to see if we made it through the night. Okay. Take care, y'all.
Yeah, we got about what, 15 more minutes here. 15 more minutes.
Not with the way our lights are blinking. Peace.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of another episode here. And with that, we also have to mention that this episode was brought to you by Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics. If you need a cover done by an award-winning artist, the Jeffrey Hayes is the man that you need. And if you don't believe me that he has the capability to do a great cover for you, take a gander at this.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasma Fire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
And there you have it. If you like what you saw there, then you want to hit up Jeffrey Hayes at Plasma Fire Graphics or his Facebook group or plasmafiregraphics.com. As far as I am concerned, I'll be back here on Saturday. Hopefully the weather is better. Hopefully I will have the yard and stuff cut and not have to worry about anything outside anytime soon. We will have new comic book pickups of the week. We will have updates on our production here and a brand new topic to talk about on from the Desk of a Small Press Publisher. But until then, I have to say goodbye. As I always say, live life, grow, and be well. And unlike our founder, Brian K. Morris, it's like, I don't care if you wash your hands, but never, and I do mean never, apologize for being awesome. Catch you here next Thursday on Comic Book Spectrum. Good night, enjoy, and stay safe.